How then do we define social entrepreneurship? Well, let's do the same thing that we did when defining entrepreneurship. Let's walk through a few perspectives, a few definitions, until we have enough information to craft our own definition that will be the most useful in our own lives. Let's first consider some of the thoughts of the late Professor Greg Dees, who I had the pleasure of knowing. He was hugely influential in defining social entrepreneurship early on. In 1998, Professor Dees wrote a paper entitled The Meaning of Social Entrepreneurship. Now, notably, in this particular paper, he also references the thoughts of the four individuals we just talked about in defining entrepreneurship first and foremost: Say, Schumpeter, Drucker, and Stevenson. And then he builds on those contributions. Dees believed that a social entrepreneur is first and foremost an entrepreneur, the kind that emphasized and had an accountability around value creation, as Say explained. Secondly, an entrepreneur that was focused on being a change agent, the way that Schumpeter described. Third, an entrepreneur that pursued opportunities, as Drucker put forth. And then fourth, my favorite, an entrepreneur that was focused and determined to be resourceful and to push forward despite the barriers in his or her way, the way Stevenson discussed. But Dees believed that there was one more thing that set social entrepreneurs apart. He said any definition of social entrepreneurship should reflect the need for a substitute for the market discipline that works for business entrepreneurs. What this means is social entrepreneurship must measure success in a different way other than simply looking at the bottom line. And so because social entrepreneurs' basic metrics for success are different, so are often their goals, their strategies, and their methods. Social entrepreneurs are concerned with what Dees called mission-related impact. He continues and says that this involves first adopting a mission to create and sustain social value, not just private value. Second, recognizing and relentlessly pursuing new opportunities to serve that mission. 3, engaging in a process of continuous innovation, adaptation, and learning. 4, acting boldly without being limited by resources currently at hand. And 5, exhibiting heightened accountability to the constituencies served and for the outcomes created. Why is having a definition like this important? Well, for a long time, social entrepreneurs existed, but we didn't know what to call them. And in fact, they didn't know what to call themselves. They didn't know how to self-identify. Being able to do that, to create this group, to name it, allowed people to see a different path that existed, maybe for themselves, and allowed people to identify leaders, social entrepreneurs in all different sectors. So in addition to innovative not-for-profit business ventures, social entrepreneurship can include social purpose business ventures, such as a for-profit community development bank, or a hybrid organization that mixes not-for-profit and for-profit elements, like, say, a homeless shelter that starts businesses to train and employ their residents. His new language helped to both unify and broaden the playing field. It helps people identify whether themselves or others as this common thing, as a social entrepreneur. Bill Drayton, who founded Ashoka, an organization that helps support innovators for the public, is another important thinker in the field of social entrepreneurship. He believes that social entrepreneurs are individuals with innovative solutions to society's most pressing problems. They are the global organizers of local change makers. In other words, changing systems, scaling and spreading their solutions, and in the end, persuading entire societies to move in different directions, creating major cultural change. Drayton also believes that social entrepreneurs are so passionate about what they believe to be true and the way the world can change that they're almost possessed by their ideas, and they dedicate their life to working to solve the problems that they see in the world. Drayton believes that they're both visionaries and realists, above all concerned with the practical implementation of their vision. They're change agents for society, seizing opportunities that others miss to improve systems, inventing innovative new approaches, and creating solutions to change society for the better. Lastly, let's look at the way that the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship defines a social entrepreneur. They say a social entrepreneur is a leader or a pragmatic visionary who achieves large-scale, systemic, and sustainable social change through a new invention, a different approach, a more rigorous new application of known technologies or strategies, or some combination of those things. A social entrepreneur focuses first and foremost on the social or ecological value creation, and then, only after, tries to optimize the financial value creation. He or she innovates by finding a new product, a new service, or a new approach to a social problem, continuously refines and adapts their approach in response to feedback, and combines the characteristics represented by Richard Branson and Mother Teresa. Now, whether or not those particular examples resonate with you, or if you agree with that last part of the definition, I think bringing actual real people into the conversation and pointing to real live examples of social entrepreneurs can be incredibly helpful. And that's one of the reasons I'm so excited to rely heavily on case studies, stories, and even interviews with some of my favorite social entrepreneurs throughout the course.